"This is really, really illegal," Jordan whispered. "We could go to jail." "No way. We're minors. Juveniles." "Yeah, juvenile delinquents." "Well, we are. Anyway, they stole the stuff first. We're just taking it back. Besides, Jordan, think about this. In those hard drives they took, there's a recording of your great true confession to the lie detector program about how you wrote Cassandra. You want the government to see that?" Okay. But they won't let you have frogs in jail, you know. Just remember that." The Riverview Motel was a long row of single-story rooms, each with a picture window in front. Helen and Jordan had waited at the end of the street, hidden, they hoped, behind some bushes, and had seen the two Bureau 6 men leave their room and walk along the front of the motel to the adjoining restaurant. Then, walking their bikes, they had hurried down over the steep bank of the roadside and around behind the motel. The backside of the Riverview, which faced the mudflats of the river, had a row of small, square, high windows. 16, said Helen, who had been counting even while she argued with Jordan. "Here we are." "What if they come out of the restaurant?" "Have you ever eaten at the Riverview Grill? It's the slowest service in town. They won't even have their steak platters yet. Now give me a boost." Jordan made a stirrup of his hands and heaved Helen up. She set to work with a screwdriver, prying off the window screen. "What if it's the wrong room?" "It isn't. I can see a suit hanging up." "Lots of people wear suits. Ow!" "Sorry." Helen jumped down and kicked aside the screen, which had hit Jordan on the head as it fell. "Are you coming in, or do I have to do this myself?" "Lead on, Igor." They heaved themselves up and through the window into a bathtub. They both carried big empty backpacks. Jordan's heart was pounding, and he kept breaking into fits of shivers. If they were caught, they might not go to prison, but there were youth detention centers. His parents would be summoned back from Belize. He couldn't imagine what they'd say. And anyway, if they were caught, everything would be found out. They couldn't explain what they were doing without explaining Cassandra. "All clear," said Helen smugly, peering out of the bathroom. "And it is the right room. Clever Igor can count to 16. Jordan edged past her to fasten the chain on the door so no one would be able to come in. The heavy drapes were drawn over the front window, and in the dim purplish light it was clear that the Bureau 6 agents had been gloating over their trophies. Most of the equipment from Cassie's lab was scattered over the beds. "Is that laptop hers?" Helen asked. "No, they must have been reading the discs on it." "Wonder what they made of this one," Helen asked, holding up the magic flute. "Bet they thought it was some sort of encryption, secret codes." "Yeah, well, that's opera for you. Stop talking, someone will hear, and be careful with the hard drives." Jordan was packing computer parts and discs, both CDs and DVDs, into the backpack, trying to fit them in so they wouldn't rattle around. "We've got lots of time," Helen repeated, but she started hurrying too. "I think that's it." Jordan made a final check inside the hockey bag the spies had used to carry Cassie's stuff away, and he looked under the beds. "Igor missed one," said Helen, and she popped a CD out of the laptop's drive. "Come on!" Jordan peered out through a gap in the curtain, then took the chain off the door. Helen was already lowering the backpacks out the bathroom window. She scrambled out. Jordan followed her. He boosted her up again so she could slide the window shut and wedge the screen back on. Hurry up, he moaned. Helen gave the screen one final blow with the handle of the screwdriver and slid down. They struggled into the backpacks and walked their bikes through the long grass between the motel and the river. There was a flattened path there already, where people rode illegal, gas-wasting ATVs, so their bicycles didn't leave any tracks. Once they were past the motel, they pushed the bikes back up to the road and started riding. Jordan felt like he had a huge sign over him saying, "Thief." But the things were Cassie's. At least the discs were, and the work was, and the drives were the university's. And Ruggles wasn't the university. Just because he'd told government agents to steal stuff didn't mean they were allowed to. The pack was heavy and made him wobble. They were just coming up to the traffic lights when Helen, who was behind him, yelped, "Jordan!" He couldn't really turn to look back, not without tipping over, but he ducked his head and looked along his side. "That's them!" He couldn't see. Helen was in the way. "Where?" "2 blocks back." Jordan didn't bother waiting for the lights. He turned right, getting up speed on a downhill slope. Helen pedaled up beside him. She looked scared now, not nearly so certain they could get away with their burglary. "It's a big white car, stuck behind that old man who drives an electric bug and never goes over 20. It's got to be them." Jordan nodded, but he was mad on top of scared now. No way was he letting Harvey and Harvey have Cassie's work, not after all this.